Hey, you guys, welcome to the live chat this evening of Love is Blind Reunion Season 2. Now, I do see a couple of folks in here, so let me know who you are, where you're from, and then we'll give it a minute or so and we'll get started. It was definitely a pretty darn interesting reunion, to say the least. Definitely so. And yeah, we got a lot to talk about. I know you guys wanted me to go ahead and do a live chat. Welcome, you guys. I see you just popped in. Let me know where you're from. Who's in the chat today? We're gonna go ahead in a couple seconds and get started with this whole recap of Love Is Blind, the reunion, because we got a lot to unpack. So let me know where you're from. Because I know I usually do live chats for Married at First Sight, and I know some of you guys on the lives on that show wanted me to also do one this week for Love Is Blind. So kind of want to know if any of my newbies, if we got some new folks here, or if it's some of my regulars are here. So it was definitely a messy reunion. I think the reunion was more messier than the entire season. Hey, Allison, welcome. Welcome. Oh my God. Yeah, it was a messy reunion. I mean, after we had a runaway bride, we had hot dog costumes. Um, I mean, we had a whole lot of craziness. But we're gonna recap it. We're gonna talk about it, and talk about some of these messy moments. Now, I will say, I don't know about this reunion. I thought they could have went a little deeper on some of the cast members that we saw, but I don't know. I think the production was so focused on trying to make this whole shake drama, but it was crazy. It was crazy to me. So, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get started. And also, guys, on the way in, hit the like button. Let me know if you like this video or this recap. And then also, too, if you on IG, you can follow me on Romance Review TV. And if you also want to support the channel, the information is there. So we're going to first talk about this quad. So what they pretty much touched up on this quad, I'll call it. We had saw that excuse me, Shane apologized to Natalie for getting defensive and kind of mucking up the truth about his interest with Shayna and the pods. Of course, we heard Shake interrupt, which we'll talk about more on that later. But, he did express remorse for the fight that ended their relationship, but also pushes Natalie to apologize for how he got to that point. Now, Natalie, on the other hand, from what we saw, she apologized, but said that the fight changed everything for her. She did apologize for making him feel like he wasn't good enough, because she was calling him all kind of different names during the season. And as much as we didn't get to see so much of Shane actually reacting to those things, obviously it was a problem to him. So he didn't like it. But the thing is that she shares that her and Shane briefly got back together after the wedding, but ultimately they couldn't get over their fight. I mean, honestly, at that wedding, that whole thing, first of all, I know a lot of folks thought he was tweaking. I mean, the dude was, I don't know whether he was nervous, scared, on something. I don't know. I can't say what state of mind that he was in, but I mean, then they had that fight the night before, And I mean, it what we ended up seeing at the wedding, of course, was that whole thing about everything he said to her, he meant it. And she was like, but you said you hate me. You mean that too? And he was like, no, but I ain't gonna take it back. So I just wish at the reunion they could have went in a little deeper with that whole situation. And then on the flip side of that, because Shayna was the other part of this situation. So we did see at the reunion Shayna apologizing to Natalie for lying about confessing her feelings for Shane. Um, she did also apologize to Kyle, who was her connection, for accepting his proposal. And that's my thing, because we saw her in the pods. When he asked to marry her, you can tell that she wasn't there. She just went along to get along. And that's obviously it blew up in her face because we all saw what happened, especially when he went to meet the family. So I'm not really. I don't know why she even signed up to be with him. I mean, it was crazy. It was crazy. Um but she turned around after apologizing to Kyle for accepting his proposal. She turned around in the same breath at the reunion saying that she felt manipulated, that he used his mom's engagement ring to kind of reel her in. And I'm like, I mean, would that be to give your mom's engagement ring, I guess, in a situation where you don't know who you're going to marry, until you see them sight unseen? I don't know if he used that as a manipulation thing. I just think that maybe he thought that was a great idea. I don't know, but do I think he tried to manipulate her with that ring? Mm, I don't know about that. Now, he did reveal that he didn't know about the whole thing with Shayna trying to get back to with Shane after that proposal. And I guess maybe that was something that we didn't see. I mean, because we saw the conversation that she had with Nat. And then she turned around at that little beach party they had. And then that conversation that she had with Shane. But yeah, I mean, my thing is she should have just turned Kyle down and said, no, no, I'm sorry, I'm not as connected. I have another interest, but she didn't. And now we got this mess. Now, there was also some stuff that had came out um in regards to Kyle, because I don't know if you guys actually seen the whole IG, I guess, interview or whatever live that Kyle did along with was that his sister? Not Kyle. Oh my God, I'm thinking about that's Sal. So never mind. But the thing is that these two should have never even got together. I mean, they broke up before they were broken up faster than probably it began. But honestly, they should have just left that on the table. The moment he proposed, Shayna should have stuck to her first mind and was like, "Nah." Mm-mm. But you see, we got drama out of that, which production was here for it, and it was crazy to me. I mean, even that whole interaction with her family. But my thing is, if she actually wanted to be with Shane, she should have made that known clearly. So you also got to fault her for the fact of her not revealing her feelings early in the game, because he said, remember in the pods, that if this was 2 days earlier or 48 hours earlier or whatever, he might have made a different decision. That in itself is crazy, but the thing is that you know she should have spoke up, and at the same time she shouldn't have got with Kyle. Now there is something interesting. That's what it was with Kyle. Kyle also had a connection with Deeps, and they kind of talked about that and hinted around a little bit that they had built a connection, the two of them. But I'm assuming that they wanted to keep it, until everything kind of, they didn't choose each other in the pods because of course Kyle ended up with Shayna, and then of course Deepti ended up with Abhishek. So I mean, or Shake as we all know him as. So, obviously we know how that went. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the whole thing with Kyle and Deepti, yeah, they've been playing around lately after this over this past weekend, kind of giving a lot of cryptic vibes and hints about you know, that they were actually dating. Hi Jisha girl. I think Shayna thought she would be attracted to Kyle until she saw him. Yeah, they definitely had an emotional connection. But when it came time to when she actually saw him, I don't know, maybe there was a turn off or something. The other thing is, do you guys think that there's an age difference between these two? Because I thought maybe she was a little bit older than he is as well. I mean, he's not in a situation where he acts immature, but I do think that she is older. She should have just spoke her mind at the time when she had in regards to Shane. It probably would have worked out. It would have saved some pain for Kyle. We see it didn't work out with Shane and Natalie, so who knows? It might have would have worked out with those two, but it was a mess. And I just wish that that Nick and his wife would have went in deeper and had that whole conversation a little bit more. Because I mean, to me, even though it was an hour, and I know they can't fit everything in, but I just think they could have went a little bit deeper with this whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So it just didn't make any sense. Um, with regards to the fact that they didn't do a deep dive with especially on Shayna's behavior with her trying to hook up, with Shane after he proposed to Natalie, and that would have been a lot in itself to unpack, and they didn't do that. So I wasn't feeling that part. I think the reunion from season 1 was a whole lot better. They actually did a deep dive in all of the couples, but this particular season I think they were so focused on the whole shake thing that you just blew past the other stuff that you could have talked about. That's just my take on this. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this whole thing? Do you think they did a good job in regards to this whole love quad that was going on? Um, and whether or not they could have gotten some more information out of these four. Um, I mean, the one thing I will give credit to is the fact that Natalie and Shane did apologize, but I don't even think she couldn't get over the fight. But I did see online from the both of them on their IG accounts that they both, apologized to each other and decided to, just put it to rest and move forward with their lives. So that was good. Um then let's see, because I was wanting to see if you guys had something to say about that. So then we had this whole other thing when it came to um oh yeah, and by the way, I think um with Sal and Mallory, because that's who we're talking about now. I actually thought these two were going to end up together, and it's so unfortunate because she was really excited about him, but I don't think he really ever got over this whole thing with Jared and that whole conversation that they had, which, was disrespectful, which at the reunion, Jared did apologize for. Um, we also hear Sal saying that he felt unheard during the arguments with Mallory, and she did acknowledge it. Sal said that they tried to give the relationship a fair shot, but they did not get back together after the wedding. Of course it failed because they didn't say I do. But what do you think about that? I mean, I honestly think that they did a missed opportunity because they kind of threw hints out there about this whole situation with this girl that Sal dated prior to coming on the show, and it definitely got out. And so he did address it with his sister on an IG live, and the sister came with receipts. Mallory was being real quiet at the reunion. Yes, she was. I mean, but the thing is, that's the job of the host too, because they could have asked, some questions like, "Hey, Mal, how did you feel about this?" or "What did you think about that?" And they didn't do any of that. I think. Oh, Jisha says, "I think Mal would have said yes if Sal said yes." I think so too. I absolutely think so because she was excited about him. Hey, Dave. Hey, Dave. Um, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, Trini girl. Yeah, everyone does have a past. Now, this girl though was actively, I guess, while he did kind of put it to rest the whole dating situation with this girl. This girl was actually escalating this situation, and I don't know if he still has the video up on his IG, but I listened to it, and his sister came with all the receipts. Oh, you just came in to say hello. Okay, cool, 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 cool. Hey, DI4J, what's going on? Welcome. Hey, Heidi from South Florida. I know you guys got some good weather down there. Up here in Illinois, we got 30 degrees. Yep, yep, yep. Trini girl said, nah, Mal was into Jer Bear. You think so? But I think she was into Sal more though. Welcome. This your first time here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. By the way, for those Love is Blind lovers, we also do live chats for Married at First Sight over here as well. So you should really you really should watch it, David. Yeah, he should. David, you gotta watch it. And I mean, if you got Netflix, hey, you can binge watch it at any time. Anytime. It is a good show. It's actually the producers of this show is the same producers of Married at First Sight here in the US. Kinetic Content. Same production team. So if you like Married at First Sight US, then you probably like Love is Blind. Yep. But yeah, I honestly going back to what Jisha girl said, I honestly think that Mallory would have said yes too if Sal had said yes. I think Mal's in Jared, but I don't think she would have married him. Probably not. Probably not. I don't think so either. But we're gonna talk about Jared and Ayana. But honestly, I'm glad that we did get to see at the reunion that Jared and Mallory pretty much apologized to Sal for that whole conversation about that ring. Because it was out of place and the conversation was a very long-winded conversation. So it wasn't like they were just talking for a quick 30 minutes. They were talking for a very long time, which made, of course, the spouses that or soon to be spouses that they were with uncomfortable. Hey Sherelle, never seen the show but love Married at First Sight. Okay, cool. Mel fell in love with Sal voice. Okay. Want their conversations, but when she saw how he looked, she was not into him. You think so? You think so? You think that was the case? Yeah. I mean, she seemed like she was really happy with him though. I don't know. I actually thought that they were going to work out, but they did not. Um, and the fact that even after the wedding, he said, well, we can go. I mean, yeah, after the wedding didn't work out, that they can go on a couple dates. and obviously that didn't work out either. So it is so unfortunate, but I still think that, like you said, Mallory was real quiet, or they didn't show us everything that happened. But yeah, if you guys go over to Sal's IG, there is a video with him and his sister where they're talking about that whole thing with the girl he dated right before the show and how she tried to escalate everything. I mean, it was pretty darn crazy. And the sister came with receipts. So, let's see. Did you notice how Mel voice changed back and forth? Yeah, I did. I did. It was up and down. That was weird. It was shifting back and forth. Jisha girl says, seems like she seems to want a man who is into sports and super masculine. That's, yeah, I can see that. You think that's why she was interested in maybe Jared? Trini girl says the reunion was not well thought of or organized. It was all over the place. It was. I totally agree with you. It was all over the place. I was like, what the heck are they doing here? Because, I mean, and the host didn't do a good job at asking all the right questions. I mean, seriously. So, yeah, I absolutely agree with you. It was all over the place. But it was up to them to control it, and they didn't, you know. So, unless, production was like, okay, we just got to go with what we can go with, and you know, we need Vanessa to whip the Married at First Sight cast into shape. You think so? What about the experts, Trina girl? Yes, Jared is very tall, very masculine, but I actually like Sal for Mal. Me too. I actually, thought Sal and Mal was going to be pretty good with each other. So I totally agree with you on that. All right, let's talk about these two. So Shake got a lot of airtime. And the thing about this whole scenario with Shake is that you had a lot of people that, I mean, her family came for him on social media after all of this. A lot of the fans did too. But he also had a lot of support because a lot of people thought he spoke facts. Let me know what you guys think about the whole Shake thing. Um I mean, we saw him get airtime for accusing Kyle and Shayna for staying together to be on camera. He brought up Sal's ex-girlfriend, which is what the host should have done. He tells Shane to shut up and tells the cast that, that the whole cast is fake. Um, Now, he did say that the women were all beautiful, but at the same time, he was not attracted to them. And then, now, according to the show, they're saying he refused to apologize for asking the women about their weight. He compares marriage to a purchase. There are a lot of folks. There are some that don't see that as something acceptable, but there are some folks out there that do see marriage as a business or an exchange. And then a lot of people were upset about the fact that he refused to apologize for anything he said or done because he believes he's there to be honest. Now, on that tip, a lot of folks that it was in support of Shake thought that he was absolutely right for being honest. What do you guys think? Jisha Girl says, contrary to popular opinion, I think Shake was one of the most honest people on the show. Great. Okay. Um, I will say that I one of the things, because I think he's a veterinarian. One thing he said, that humans are animals and we have an animalistic nature, things like that. And Nick Lachey came back and said, "We're not animals, we're human beings." And of course, his wife was jumping all over the couch next to him. And I was sitting there watching, and my daughter, who is a medical student well, she graduated. One of the things that she said, she was like, "Mom, technically we are warm-blooded mammals, so we're just at a higher level of being animals." But that's why transplants from certain animals can cross over to humans. But I found that pretty interesting. Shake got what he deserved. Deepti is way too good for him. He's a shallow narcissist. That's the problem with these shows, is that if you're not attracted to somebody and you tell them that you're not attracted to them, you got to be careful of how you communicate that. Because like Deepti said, I don't care if you're not attracted to me. It's how you tell me. Now, the biggest thing that we saw on camera is the whole thing about him saying that being with her is like being with his aunt. And people went ballistic over that. Well, I guess the other part of this is that, I was reading some of the comments, and some of the comments were like, well, what about put when men and women put people in their friend zone because they feel like a brother or a sister to them? And I'm like, ooh, what do you think about that thought? Mallory was not into Jared, was more into Mallory. Hey, Priscilla. Okay, Mallory was not into Jared, was more into Mallory than Mallory was into him. Okay, gotcha. Mallory and Jared did not have chemistry like Jared and Ayana. I totally agree with that, Priscilla. This is my first time looking at Love is Blind, and I enjoyed it better than Married at First Sight. Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. I'm glad. So did you watch the whole season, or did you binge watch it, or because they did 5 episodes in each week for the last like 3 weeks. So it was like 1 through 5, right? 6 through 9, and then 10 was the reunion. I mean, the finale, and then 11 was the reunion. But yeah, it was pretty good. But a lot of people went in on Shake. I think he had right the day of the reunion or the day after. He actually shut his IG down for a minute. So he definitely was taking going incognito. But some people say he deserved everything he got. Others are in complete support. You know. But the thing is, it's like, and I've seen this across the board with all of the shows, like Married at First Sight and some of the other ones. If you meet somebody sight unseen, there's a chance that you might not have attraction with them. The question is how to communicate that without, being disrespectful. Maggie says, I watched the whole season 1 and 2. Okay, cool. Welcome, Maggie. But the rest of the room, every time he opened his mouth, they made a face. Shane was like, I can't believe the words that are coming out of your mouth. Ayana told him, he needed to see a psych. Natalie, said that they only showed a watered down version of Shake insults, while Deepti told all of the women, as well as Jared and Shane, that yeah, it was crazy. Um, the thing is that every time he said something, it was like pouting, getting upset. People, they just did not want to hear what he had to say, and he was gonna speak his truth no matter what. We really didn't get a lot from Deepti. She really didn't have to say much. But her following is huge. She should probably be somewhere around on IG about 800K now, because I know last time I looked, she was around 750 yesterday. But everybody is loving them some Deepti because she chose herself. And like I was saying earlier about Kyle, her and Kyle, which we didn't see, actually also had interest as well. Yep. So, and from there's word on the street that they might be dating right now. So that would be interesting to see how that all materializes. If they are going to continue to date. Maggie said, I think because he said a lot of things behind her back. Okay. That's probably why. Yep. That's what I heard too. And that's so unfortunate, you know. I mean, it's one thing to not be attracted to somebody, but you don't have to be mean about it. Now, with him talking about Shayna wanting 15 minutes of fame and want to be on TV, what did you guys think about that? You think that was the case? What do you think? Drop a yes or no. Do you think that he was right about that part? You know, because technically, if she didn't stay, but then is it up to them or is it up to production? Because production is the one with the cameras and the money involved. So I guess if they wanted them to be on camera, that's up to them, unless they could opt out of the contract. She was another Jessica from season one. Are you talking about Shayna? That's what people are saying. That Shayna was Mark and Jessica from season one. Shayna and Kyle. Shake is very successful and being a doctor vet, he is very immature and arrogant. Yeah, that dude is silly. Have you guys, I don't know if any of you follow him on IG. That man has some crazy posts. Crazy. I don't think Shayna was there for fame. Okay. Oh, you think she was, Maggie? A lot of people actually agreed with his statement, though, in social media. A lot of people actually thought that that was the case. So, yeah. But he took up most of the show. And that's so unfortunate because we could have got more details out of the other scenarios. And then that whole thing about Shake saying he was attracted to Vanessa. What do you guys think about that? Because a lot of people was like, "Oh my God, how you gonna hit on Nick's wife in front of him?" What do y'all think about that? Because that was kind of, some people found that disrespectful. If she was there for fame, why leave early? She could have. Yeah, that's true. That would have been more drama if she was during the honeymoon time. Out of order. Yep, you're absolutely right, Maggie. Because I mean, it's one thing to say all the people in the room are beautiful. I'm just not attracted to them. Okay, but then he said, "I'm attracted to you, Vanessa." Her husband is sitting right there. Yeah, I didn't like that one too much. Um, and the crazy thing, Vanessa clapped back saying that he sat there berated every single one of the women physically because all he wanted to do was screw somebody. And she said that he did not grow throughout the process. And then he said, remember that whole thing he said about love is not blind, it's blurry? What do y'all think about that statement? Do you guys think love is blind or do you think it's not? Yeah, Di4J, he was definitely wrong to say that in front of her husband. Disrespectful, I gotta say, you know. But what do you guys think about the whole love is blurry comment he made? Because I mean, honestly, you had 2 out of 5 couples that said yes or got married. 2 out of 5, right? Or was it 2 out of 6? One, I think it was 2 out of 5. I don't think love is blind. Yeah, I mean, because it's one thing to have an emotional connection, but can you are you attracted to the person? Somebody that you look at and like, ooh, I just, man, I gotta get after her. Or I can't wait to get, whatever. I'm not saying it should be based on a foundation of physical, but I do think that folks want to like what they see when they see the person. Love is blind if you are there for the right reasons. Okay, I agree. Okay, cool. Shake sound like a huge narc. So glad Deepy left him. Yeah, that's the common word that's going around for him, Heidi, is narc. Love is blurry. Excuse me. Love is blurry. I agree with Shake. Okay. You can become emotionally attached. That is true. That's how some people get catfished. If you watch the show Catfish, a lot of those people get emotionally connected over text messages and phone calls. And then when they go to the person's house and see them, it's not who they thought it was. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Most of them aren't. But yeah, I mean, it depends on the person. If you're looking for a deep emotional connection, fine. For those that want both, it's both. It's blurry. The other thing is that I honestly thought Shake was gonna say yes because right before the wedding, he had that conversation saying the connection he had with Deepti is only one that you see every 10 years, 20 years, or a lifetime. So I actually thought that he was probably going to say yes, but Deeps said no first. Jisha Girl says, before I met my husband, I dated online like most do. I met a guy who was amazing. Oh, wow, really? So you were catfished. He was 100 pounds heavier and a lot older than his pictures. Yeah, you can lie easily. That's the other thing when you do online dating. Do you remember what his mother told him? What was it, Maggie? What was it? The families before the wedding, they seemed really excited about the two of them, her family and his family. Yes, I know. Oh, you did watch it? Okay, cool, Priscilla. People lie about ages and many other things. Yes, they do. Yes, they lie about little things and big things. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I just wish that the whole aunt thing, he said some if you're not attracted to her, that's one thing. Because I mean, everybody is not everybody's cup of tea. I know there's people that's not attracted to me, and I know that I'm not attracted to some other people. I get it. It's how you say that in a situation like this. Yeah. Hey, Miss Gemini, Mrs. Gemini, I should say. Yes, it should still be on Netflix. It'll probably be up there for a while. The reunion was just this past Friday on the 4th of March. Or was it 4th? Wait a minute, what's today? I lost track of time. Today is the 8th. So, yeah, it was this past Friday. Yep. So it should still be on Netflix. But yeah, I think he missed out on a great opportunity with Deeps. She obviously had other connections, which Kyle was one of them. And I'm curious because they're saying that they might be dating as we speak. So I'm gonna keep watching and see what's up with that. Do you think Kyle and Deepti would make a great couple? What do you guys think? Yes or no in the chat section? You think they would make a good couple, Deepti and Kyle? Is it still on? Yeah, it's still on. It should still be there. Yep, go check it out on Netflix. It should still be there. So what do you guys think? You think Maggie says yes? Okay. Who else? What do you think? You think Kyle and Deepti make a good match? I didn't like, however, in some of the groups on social media how they were physically talking about Kyle. Nobody's perfect. We all have. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I didn't like how they were physically talking about Kyle. We all have imperfections physically, whatever that is. And there were some people using cartoon names about him, and I won't say what those are, but that's just not a nice thing to do. And so, yeah, it's crazy. Jisha girl, he should have asked her to marry him. Yeah, that's what he said on the reunion. He missed that opportunity, and he kind of said something crazy to Shake about that too. I think no, because she's a rebound. Really? Okay. I like them both, but I don't know about being a couple. Okay. I really won't say the terms that they used, Jisha girl, about Kyle. It just wasn't nice. And primarily they were speaking about his ears. And it's just, I mean, nobody's perfect, and hey, there's things about myself, there's probably things about people in this chat room that, we've learned to embrace about ourselves. And for other people to use that as a way of, I guess, bullying or, excuse me, being disrespectful, I don't think that's cool at all. I think he is a cute guy and he seems like a nice guy. He really does. And the boy got abs. Have you guys seen him on, I think it was TikTok, because the photo was floating around because Deepti was in the comment section throwing up hot signs with a tongue, with the a heart. I mean, the face emoji with the tongue hanging out, and how they was hot, and then the fire signs next to it. So a lot of people was like, "Oh yeah, she must be into Kyle." But Kyle pulled up his shirt. The boy is cut. You talking about muscles galore? I mean, yeah, he's carved. And we saw DT in the comment section really giving him his props. He said, Maggie says he said they had some good times in the pod. Yeah, we didn't get to see it. We didn't get to see the two proposals that Natalie got. We didn't see, this interaction that Deepti had with Kyle. I mean, they left out a lot. I did a video about that. There were two other couples that got engaged that we didn't see. So go check out that video on my channel. But yeah, it's a lot that they didn't give us. Yeah, I mean, seriously, DI4JD, no one's perfect. No one's perfect. Yeah, so we got cut out on a lot of stuff. They didn't give us the full picture of a lot of the people that was here. Why didn't we get a chance to see that first proposal that Natalie got? We got to see Shane, but we didn't get to see the proposal that the guy asked in the pod to Natalie. She had two. Plus the two couples that got engaged that we didn't see. So, and then the connection, like we were just saying, that Kyle and Deepti had in the pods, we got to see none of that either. Heidi says, "Hey Heidi, I could see Kyle and Deepti as great friends, but not a couple." Okay, all right. Well, she was definitely giving him his props about his body, and they did what was that, a TikTok where he was doing something, and then he slid over the camera, and in his, I don't know if that was his apartment or room, and Deepti was standing in the back, and then he shifted the camera back over. Jisha girl says production only wanted us to see the drama. Yep, pretty much. They wanted the drama to be I guess they wanted to find the stuff that would be most interesting, but I would be open to see, especially the other couples that got engaged. I mean, why not? You want to say Love is Blind? Show us the couples that got engaged. Okay, Jisha girl said, I wish we were able to see the connection with that. Me too. Yep, me too. Maggie said, I saw. Oh, you saw that one too? The TikTok I'm talking about? Yeah. So I don't know. And the comments, because somebody asked Deep D about that. And she says that they're pretty much trying to take it one day at a time and we'll see how it goes. So obviously there may be something percolating with those two. But I would definitely like to follow and, continue to see what's going on. Whereas Shake is doing his thing. He's been partying. He's been actually leaning into the hate. You know how some people try to defend themselves and blah blah blah. He's been leaning into it. He's been showing him working with animals and his clients, and he also posts a lot of the support that he's been getting in his DMs. So he's been posting all of that. It doesn't look like it's not bothering him as much. I can't say truly the 100% that it is, but he's been leaning into any type of smoke that he's getting. Priscilla said, I agree with Vanessa because if you remember, when Shake had the last date, he said that he wanted to know where her mind was before he could. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, So I just, my thing is hopefully he learned from this. He did get on social media and acknowledge the fact that, he was wrong about his behavior. He looked back and he said he needs to do some growth and stuff like that. So, I try to look for the progression in people, because I do know that people do stupid things. Like we said about physical imperfections, we also act imperfect, I should say. We do imperfect things. So, um, hopefully he acknowledges his behavior. He saw what he saw, and then see where he goes from here. I mean, either you're going to continue to do the same crazy stuff moving forward, or you're going to do the growth like he said he was going to do. Jesus says, I feel bad for Shake. Maybe it does bother him, but he's trying to make positive out of negative. Yeah, I agree with that. He feels like he's in too deep to change. You're now and don't want to come off fake. That's true. Because if he does come off too sweet, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. People be like, oh, I don't believe you. Season 2 was better than season 1. Okay, so season 2 was better than season 1, but season 2 reunion was worse than season 1. I didn't like the reunion at all. I think that they did a horrible job with hosting this, didn't ask the right questions, didn't ask enough questions. I didn't like it. So, I mean, what do you guys think? Did you like season 2 better than season 2 reunion? I thought it was pretty good, especially Jared and Ayana's wedding. Oh my God. I was in tears. I absolutely love those two. And we're going to talk about the good stuff in a minute. But yeah, like you say, he's just pretty much trying to make a positive out of a negative with everything that's going on in social media. And I want to see what he do this point moving forward because I don't like keeping people stuck in time. Especially if you do something and you take the accountability and I want to see what you do from that point forward. Now, if you stay the same person, then the judgment is going to be the same. But if you do the work, then yeah, that's what I look for. Maggie says season 1 reunion was, yeah, I agree. Season 1 reunion was better than season 2 reunion, but the season itself, season 2, was better than season 1. I agree. I totally agree. So we'll see what happens with these two. I'm excited to see what Deepti is probably going to get a ton of endorsements now. a ton of endorsements and different things because number one, her following is huge now, and because she chose herself, and women are, especially modern women these days are into you know being uplifted and things like that, and confidence, and she's definitely have a big following that people are going to want to gravitate to GP for endorsements and stuff like that. So yeah, it did seem more authentic. Season one had some great connections, but I didn't care too much for. I know it was kind of weird. I do like Lauren and Cameron. I will say the other people, Barnett and his wife is still together. So two couples came out of that, I think. Now the other singles are now married with other people, because I think what's her name, Jessica. She married a physician, and Mark is now married to his wife, and I think she just had a second baby. So even though they didn't find love on the show, I'm just glad that they found love outside, and they found love with new people. I agree. I didn't like this season reunion. It was the Shake Show. I almost didn't recognize Ayana with a long hair. She's gorgeous. Yes, she was. Deepti is also gorgeous too. Yes, and the thing is, Deepti posted, and of course, other people on social media because they shared everything. She had a tremendous amount of weight loss. The girl is, man, she showed her before picture, and then of course she put in the work to um change her weight, and the girl is gorgeous. I mean, she's been taking some pretty pictures, posting them on her Instagram. I mean, she probably need to give her secret to her weight loss plan, because I know people would probably be looking for that as well these days. But yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, seriously, her and Ayana, and we can't forget about Danielle, because we're gonna talk about them. I think that the host did a bang up job because they really didn't dive deep into the whole, this thing with Danielle and them. So let's talk about the two happy couples in on the show, which is these two gorgeous couples. And the crazy thing, I like the fact that they actually matched each other. I thought it was so cool. And that's Ayana and Jared, and of course Nick and Danielle. So they did end the show on a happy note. To get a chance to talk to the two couples who did say I do, and that they are still married, because I think the weddings happen in June or July of 2021. So they're coming up on a year actually in the next few months. So I'm excited about that. Oh my God, they had actually released, after the reunion was aired, both the couples actually released pictures of some of the stuff that they did over Christmas and with family members and trips that they've taken. I did do a compilation video of these two couples on my channel. So if you haven't checked that out, you can see some of the stuff that they did. I know Ayana and Jared, they've been traveling. They went to Atlanta because originally everybody is from Chicago. I think the majority of them are from Chicago because it was filmed in Chicago, which is 45 minutes from me. I remember when they actually posted saying, hey, if you live in the Chicago area and you want to be on Love is Blind season 2, you can audition. So I knew that they were actually doing the show in Chicago because they were posting it everywhere out here. I'm in the suburban area of Chicago, so. But Ayana looks so happy. So does Danielle. They do. Now here's the thing. We got to see a lot of negatives with Danielle. This whole back and forth, hot and cold type of thing. She did post on her Instagram about mental health. And because people were giving her flack, people were telling Nick to run and all those types of things, but they look really happy. and they've been posting things that they've been doing, after the show, because remember, Danielle, they had these fights, and so it was just hot and cold, back and forth, and she'll get in her feelings, and poor, Nick hung in there. I got to give it to him. She did say that their fights have become virtually non existent since they've been off the show. So maybe that's another part of it, with the cameras. It was too much. Sometimes when you need that private time, you don't have a big old camera in your face. Maybe that's what they needed, because she said as soon as the filming was over with, they barely had fights. That's interesting. And actually, that's good. Maybe she was like, hey, I'm married. I want to keep my husband. He wants, of course, he wants to keep her as well. You know, they had to do some work. I don't know if they went to couples counseling or anything like that. But if the fights are no longer there like it was on the show, that's a good thing. Um, they actually showed that they moved in together with each other. Her rock band set was off in the corner, so he had no problem with that. And then, of course, Nick's uncle surprised Danielle with his great grandmother's wedding ring. So that was cool. So, yeah, she's in the family real deep now. Oh, yeah, they're good. They're good. I'm excited about both of them. Both of them. Now, let's talk about Ayana and Jared, because this whole running theory, and I know people might not necessarily agree with me. I have an unpopular opinion. This whole thing about second choice. So, one thing I will say is that production really stirred that up, and that got a lot of people not happy when he had the conversation, because he did not propose to Mallory. He just asked if, what if? She said no. He has two connections. So, and this is a dating show where you are going to have multiple connections, just like Natalie had, just like Deepti had, but for some reason, there was a bigger issue when it came to Jared. And to me, it's not choices by numbers, it's the right choice. Because, and I had this conversation actually with a few friends of mine. And, some people felt the way they felt, hey, I'll never be second choice. Um, but some people also said, well, unless you're the first person that person ever been with, anybody after that, because everybody has a past, you're never going to be first choice again. Somebody always came before you. Kind of like how we said early in this chat about the girl who was coming after Sal, and somebody said in the chat, everybody has a past. So, I mean, the thing is, it's about making the right choice. And in this case, Jared made the right choice. So I mean, it depends. I'm not knocking anybody who made, if you still think second choice is the way you see it, okay, fine, that's you. That's just my opinion. All right. Ola. Hi, Ola. Welcome. Speak on it. I agree. I don't get why the cloud is stuck on the second place. I think it was crying though. Okay. Oh my God. I felt the same way. Everyone kept saying Iona was the second choice, and Iona should have said no. Yeah, I know. Everybody was like, "Oh, I was him. I would have just said no." She would have probably missed out on one of the best opportunities in her life. And the way it looks, they're still married. The families love each other. I mean, you got to check out their after the season photos with the families, with each other. It was like, yeah, Jared made the right choice. I think it turned out how it was supposed to. Absolutely. Jisha LaGirl says a lot of people are someone's second or third choice. Absolutely. We were just talking about Natalie. Natalie had two proposals in the pods. The first one, she said no. The second one, she said yes. But does that mean that he was second choice? She chose how she chose. It wasn't the right choice, though, was it? Oh, to be honest, he wanted Mallory because he wanted Hispanic and her financial stability. I agree, he made the right choice. What, Ola, what do you mean he wanted her financially stability? Kind of clear that up with me. Caribbean, Caribbean. Wait a minute, I want to say this correctly. Caribbeanification. Okay, I hope I didn't mess that up, but welcome. I agree with you about Jared and Mallory. He asked her if he proposed, what would she say? Correct. That's he didn't propose to her. He asked. He wanted to kind of see where everybody's head was. I couldn't understand why no one else heard that. I don't see it as second choice. Yes, I mean, honestly, when I was dating, I might have had conversations and things like that, and see who's a better fit. You always are going to pick the person that's a better fit. I mean, that could be person number 12. Does that mean that you wasn't person number 1, that it was the wrong choice or the right choice? But everybody was making a big deal out of that, about, oh my God, if I was her. There was conversation because I have a reel of them on my IG, and somebody was going back and forth in my comment section with somebody about the same subject. If I was her, I would never be second choice. The girl is married almost a year now. What's the problem? He made the right choice. It's not choice by numbers, it's making the right choice. So that was, I was like, I mean, that was one of the biggest comments I was making, when I had these conversations on social media. And some people feel how they feel. I don't get mad at how people choose to think or whatever. It's their choice. But my opinion on it is that he made the right choice. But both of them are enjoying married life. Um, Ayana revealed that watching that conversation with Mallory at the beach should have never happened. And I agree with that because, I mean, the cameras were here for it. They were definitely wanted to keep that going. Thank God it didn't go the way production probably wanted it to go. But both Ayana and Sal definitely was feeling some kind of way about that conversation, and I'm glad that Jared actually apologized for it. I'm glad that he apologized to her and to Sal, that was, it was disrespectful. you know Now they did say it's been ups and downs, nothing major. They're just balancing their lifestyles. But she does say being in a relationship with Jared has been so rewarding, and they did have sex when they were in Mexico. So I guess that was the big question on whether or not they ever did the do. Well, they did the do when they was in Mexico. Do you think they both needed closure? Are you talking about who, Sal, and who are you referring to, G Shilla girl? Some people thought the conversations was needed. They never spoke after she rejected him. They didn't. Well, I can see what you're saying, but it was certain things that he said, like about that gold ring. Why would you even bring that up? I mean, it's one thing if he said, "Oh, so you were the person I was talking to. It was nice to meet you. It's finally get to see the face behind the voice," and then kept it moving. But Jared went in on that whole conversation about, "Well, I know what ring you like, and he should have got you the ring you like because I know what you." And I'm like, "Why? It doesn't matter. You're engaged to somebody else." Sal gave her the ring that he thought was appropriate. But the fact of the matter is he went in on that ring, and it was disrespectful. It just was a conversation that they shouldn't have had. Ola says, Do you think he was gloating at the conversation with Mallory when they first met? Mm, are you talking about at the beach party, right, Ola? Are you talking about the beach party? Was he gloating? I mean, about if it was, I just think that whole conversation went too long. It's one thing if they just finally wanted to put the face with the voice and kept it light, but that whole ring conversation should have never happened. They were both being flirty and her leg was touching his, and I do agree that conversation was very disrespectful. Yes, it was. And you talking about the beach party, Ola? And I guess if you see it as gloating, I'm trying to think if I can remember that because that was like 3 weeks ago. Um, do I see it as gloating? I just only thing I really that stands out to me is that whole ring conversation, and I just thought that was disrespectful. Um, but I'm just glad it all worked out in the end. Oh my God, that wedding of Jared and Ayana was so beautiful, and the whole thong. I'm gonna be. How did he describe it? We're gonna be so close to each other like a thong in a stripper's butt crack or something. I think that's what he said. I said these two are nuts, but they are fun nuts to watch. And listen, like I say, some people were saying, and I'm glad she addressed that because she did a video. People were talking about her weight, meaning Ayana. Some people thought she was pregnant. And so she actually did I think it was a TikTok to show that she is not pregnant. And she didn't even have to speak. She had a wine glass. And she was like, "This is to answer to the people that think I'm pregnant." And then she pulled up a wine glass and she started drinking. So, no, she is not pregnant. But it's just crazy. Sometimes clothes make you look either slimmer than you are or bigger than you are. And I mean, maybe it was the outfit that she had on, but from the pictures that I've seen that they've done, you know, on their own leisure time, she looked like the same girl except at the reunion she had her braids. So I mean, some people are just so bitter and vicious, like we were talking about the whole thing with Kyle a little bit earlier. Then they wanted to come for her and her some folks didn't like her hair. And I'm like, look, if her husband and she like her hair, she likes her hair, her husband likes her hair, what does it matter? You're not paying for it. You're not getting her braids done. You're not getting her regular hair done. I actually think she looks good with both. Women can be very versatile with their hairstyles. I've worn my hair short. I've worn my hair long. I've worn it curly. I've worn a different color. Sometimes my hair is dark. Sometimes my hair is red or blonde. Women do that. So it's nothing new. And there were some folks that really tried to come for her braids. And I'm like, let it go. Let it go. I thought they were really cute and they're low maintenance. Remember, they had to travel to Las Vegas to do this. And most people, when they go on a trip, especially women, we want to find a protective style or a low maintenance style that we don't have to be curling our hair every day or styling our hair every time we get ready to go out, while we're on vacation. Um, Ola says, I'm happy for them. I think we saw their goofiness, their family value, and chemistry. Apart from Mallory, honestly, I think, yeah, he was. He was. Jared and Ayana are perfect for each other. They both refer to themselves as thugs. She said, even thugs cry. He said, thugs don't cry. Yeah, they so silly. They are so silly. People in social media can be so critical and cruel. She's a bit. She is. She is a very beautiful girl. And it's so crazy that that's what people do. It's just so crazy. That's what people do. That they have to come for somebody's looks or oh my gosh, she looks a little a little thick or something? Did she gain weight? Is she pregnant? I mean, come on, let it go. Unpopular opinion. I found Sal more disingenuous than Jared. Okay. Ola, give me more details. I'm interested. And he is supposed to be a good guy according to public opinion. Really? So you found him to be disingenuous. Okay, yeah. Are you talking about the whole thing with the ex-girlfriend, or is that what you're referring to? Cuz that came out, and him and his sister got on social media to try to do damage control with that, and the sister brought receipts and everything. So, yeah, I but yeah, I'm happy for these two. I hope they last a long time. I don't know about babies or anything. I mean, I could probably see Danielle and maybe Nick maybe having a kid pretty soon. But as for Ayana and Jared, maybe they'll have one coming up soon, but I see them doing like a lot of traveling, a lot of appearances and stuff together. So I'm interested to see where they're gonna go. I hope both of them stay together. He had a whole chick he was stringing along while planning to go on the show. That's what I was just talking about, Ola. Go look at the video that he and his sister did. She got receipts. The girl even apologized. She knew what was happening. He told her what he was doing. Yeah, but a lot of times people that go on these exposés, sometimes they want the attention and don't give the full truth. So, I kind of, and the sister got receipts. She got the messages and everything where this girl knew everything that was going on, and she apologized for her behavior because it got so bad that there were threats involved. And I think something maybe dealing with restraining orders. I mean, it got out of hand. So go over there and check that out. They have received so much negativity. I hope, yeah, I hope so too. I hope so too. Jared got the most of it. I mean, the whole thing about her hair and her weight that came after the reunion, which is ridiculous. But Jared got a lot of flack for the whole second choice thing. When was the video? It was on IG. Yes, it was on IG. I'm trying to think. It came out either I think it was Friday. I think it was Friday. It might be on his account. I said the same thing. I totally agree with you. It's a whole lot of us that have been second choice. I mean, listen, I'm not 20, okay? And I mean, I have children that's college aged. So just the fact that, of course, I was married, their dad is deceased. Anybody after that point is going to be choice number whatever. Okay, so I don't get caught up in this whole thing because the thing is that if you could choose that first person, but if it's not the right choice, what difference does it make? You can choose in, certain people's minds choice number three, and that person might be perfect for you. It's about making the right choice. And in this case, Jared made the right choice by picking Ayana. And she made the right choice in picking him. Because here's the thing people miss for the ones that says the whole second choice thing, she also could have said no. If she actually really took that to heart and was serious about I am not going to be second choice, Ayana could have definitely told Jared, nope, I ain't doing it. And she could have walked away from those pods. So she had a choice here too. It's not like, the weight is all on him. Yes, there's multiple connections. This is a dating circular social experiment. You're going to have more than one connection. We just talked about Natalie and two proposals. We talked about Deepti and Kyle actually having a connection, which we didn't see. And then she also had originally that connection with Shake. So, I mean, it happens in this setting. People made this one a big deal, and it's just so unfortunate. I am also heard say the best for last. That's true too. Who sung that song? Was that Vanessa Williams? Yeah. He saved the best for last. Exactly. Good point. You hey, Priscilla, I'm glad you put that out there. So I mean, that's just my thought. I mean, you don't have to agree with it, and that's fine. That's how I see it. But, I just think that he made the right choice and it worked out. I'm happy for the both of them. I'm looking forward to seeing more of them coming up in the future. They've been posting a ton of pictures where they've been out for dinner and traveling and doing things with the family. Look like her adopted parents enjoy hanging out with his family. So they not only do they have each other, but they have two very strong supporting families to back them up. So I'm happy to see that as well. My hubby was dating a girl a few months before he met me on vacation, and if I was caught up into that, I would have missed out on an amazing man. Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with you. Ola says, I agree. Saw a lot of tweets on this, and scary how so many women can miss out on a great guy being stuck that they're a second choice. I mean, seriously, unless you're a virgin and you have never been in a relationship, you've never been intimate with anybody, whoever you run up on that you decide to get married and be intimate with and build a family, that's person number one. That's how it was with my children's father. When we got married, we had kids year 4, year 7. That was number one. Anything after that is the person I'm going to date. Well, you've been married before. Oh my gosh. And you got kids? I don't want to be second or third choice. Do you know how crazy that sounds? Or even if you're in the dating arena, that's what dating is, especially if you're trying to see who's the best fit for you. There are women and men, both. So it's not just a men thing. There are women who actually have a guy, maybe a couple guys that they're talking to try to figure out which one they have more of a connection. It's about the right choice. So I don't know, people, you can lose out on a lot being stuck on crazy ideas. And I mean, I don't want to call it crazy because I also want to respect people's opinions. But if you get stuck on something like that, you can miss out on something that could be absolutely great for you. So I'm glad that she didn't, because like I said, she could have said no. She could have said no at when he proposed to her. He could have said no when she saw him for the first time. She could have also said no at the altar when they got married, especially after the whole conversation with him and Mallory. No, they stuck it out. They worked it through. He reassured her, because that was the other thing. She needed reassurance throughout what we saw in the season, whether or not. And part of that was in her mind. I got to say, part of that whole second choice thing was in her mind, because when she got to speak to the cameras, she did bring it up a few times. But I don't know if that was for the drama of the show or did she actually really felt that. However, if she did really feel that way, there was something that Jared did to make her feel secure and reassure her. And I think one of those things was no contact with Mallory, because it was one thing if he said, "Oh no, I'm into you," but he was still trying to hook up, or he was trying to call Mal or text Mal, or after the season was over, maybe something came out at the reunion that they had been secretly talking to each other. None of that happened. None of it. So throughout the season, he was continuously supportive of her. He validated her feelings and made her and reassured her to make her feel like, no, it's you. It's you. I don't want nobody else but you. And he stuck by that. And I think, after a while, she realized, like, okay, this is a non issue. Mallory is over on the other side of town with Sal. I haven't heard anything, And he even said, I will give him, kudos for the fact that he also made personal changes in his life, because as a single man, he partied all night. and hung out with his friends till wee hours of the morning. And thank God he changed that. And that's what you're supposed to do when you're married. You're now interdependent. You're no longer independent because you guys got to work together to make this marriage move forward. So, he did the work, and I'm all about the progression. It's one thing if you give lip service and talk a good game, but there's no actions behind it. We saw actions when it came to Jared. And all that second choice BS that was in the social media, it was absolutely ridiculous because he put in the work. Let's see what we got in the comments. Um, some folks are picked as first choice, but as Shake showed us, they can be treated last priority. Good comment. Being first choice doesn't guarantee you be treated as priority. Absolutely facts. G Shilla Girl says, when I was dating, I actually met a guy who really liked me, but he said he couldn't get past me having kids with my ex-husband. He said he didn't want to be second. Now that's a whole nother conversation. But obviously you found the person that was meant for you. I will say, because like I said, their dad passed away when my kids were still 12 and 15 at the time. When I started dating, one thing, men sometimes had an issue was with whether that baby, your children's father is still around. Do you have issues with them? Are you argumentative or things like that? Well, that wasn't the case in my situation because he was no longer here. But I mean, I have heard people have their concerns. I think if you don't want to date a person with children's that and you're intentional about that, you need to make that known up front, instead of getting in a situation or something like that. But to each his own. I can't knock people's choices, just like a person. I've been there. Hey, I remember when I had got back into the dating world, um, a man told me, I would prefer to date a person who had older children or adult children or no children at all because I enjoy the spontaneity and things like that and being able to travel and, not have to worry about. And I was totally, I had to come to terms with it because, hey, everybody has a preference when they whatever their preference is, if you express it in a manner that's disrespectful, that's when it makes an ugly turn. you know just like the whole I'm not attracted to you. I get it. I'm not attracted to every guy that I come in contact with, and every guy that I come in contact with may not be attracted to me. I understand that, and I'm okay with that. But it becomes, I guess it goes left how you communicate you're not attracted to that person. You don't have to be rude about it. Now sometimes you can say I'm not attracted to you, and no matter what you say, people don't like to hear it. It's a form of rejection. I get it. But it's the way you say things. If you have a preference, everybody has a preference. It's how you communicate those preferences. I understand people have preferences. Most have a type. That is true. That is absolutely true. You know. But I'm just glad with the two of these couples, these two couples, they put in the work. I mean, Nick stuck in there with Danielle because Danielle was up and down. Her mom looked like she is so much fun to be with. She can be a little outspoken, but she seems so chill. But she got the bubbly personality. Her mom seemed like she's so cool. But Nick stuck in there. And like she said, when the cameras went away, the fights went away, which was great. That allowed them to do them, and they were much happier. And so obviously it's working out because they're still married. Priscilla says she is beautiful. There's always going to be haters. Oh, of course. There's always haters. You could be an angel and they will still have a problem with your halo and your wings, right? I mean, seriously. People find things to nitpick about. But you know what? It hasn't deterred them. They've been getting a lot of support lately. That whole second choice thing slowly is going away. You still got some people stuck on that. even though filming happened and began to happen in like early 2021, 2020. So they are way past the pods. I mean, like I say, these two are probably coming up on their 1 year anniversary soon. So, people just need to chill out. So many people were telling Nick to run, but I think he loves them. Of course he does. I honestly do. I mean, Nick stuck in there. I mean, yeah, Nick, people I was seeing the comments, they was like, run, Nick, run. She's crazy. She's this, she's that. I will tell you, being on a reality TV show with cameras following you around 24/7 can be a nightmare, and it brings a lot of stress, especially if you're not used to being on TV. Remember, these are not people that went to movie school. These are not movie star people or people that went to acting school. Maybe every now and then you'll get a couple of actors on these reality shows, but these are everyday people. And a lot of people like, oh, I'm going to go on a show and I'm going to find me a husband. But there's a lot that comes with TV. And in Danielle and Nick's case, a lot of that maybe had to do with the fact of the stress from being filmed. Because if they're saying the fights went away after the cameras went away, that says a lot. They are in marriage counseling. Oh, that's great. Jean, hey Jean, love you guys. Love ain't blind. Love is blurry, like Shake say, huh, Jean? Some people actually think that. Now there were some comments earlier, Gene, that folks were saying that love is blind if you're there for the right reasons, and then others saying love is not blind because you kind of want to see or get a physical connection. I think Jen, yeah, I think so too. I think she was definitely stressed out and overwhelmed. You're absolutely right. And for everything to go away, you got your privacy. There's no cameras following you to the bathroom, following you down the street, following you to the kitchen, following you to the living room. All that's gone away. Now you can breathe. I could see why they probably saw less fights because now she's comfortable. He's probably hanging out with her family because remember, his family was kind of, I don't know, I don't know if they were really supportive of him in this experiment and getting married, but he definitely has a bunch of wonderful in-laws with her family. So maybe they have also embraced Nick and they're doing fine, fine, fine. But I'm excited to see, what happens with these two. It seems like they definitely have continued to keep a close bond with each other because all of them, except for maybe, I don't know if Shayna was there, but there was a group of them at a baseball game, I think, because they were, Ayana had took some video and posted on her IG where all of them were hanging out together at a baseball game. So they definitely not only created the two couples found a spouse, but they made friends. I don't think Shake was there. I don't remember seeing Shake with them. And most of them don't like them anyway, especially after everything that happened this season. But they're definitely got lifetime friendships with each other. Pray together, stay together. Absolutely. Absolutely. But I mean, let me know what you guys think. You think season 2 was pretty good? I like the way that they did it. If you haven't seen my recaps, because I didn't do daily recaps or I should not daily. I didn't do per episode recaps. I did weekly recaps. So, like all of the videos came out, like the first 5 came out week 1. I did a recap on all of those. The second week, 6 through 9 came out. I did one recap for that whole thing. And then the weddings and everything, which was the finale, I did a recap for that and then we're now doing the live for the reunion. So, yeah, season 2 was really good. Season 2 was better to me. Looking forward to another season. I like season 2. Hey, you guys that watched season 11, I mean, episode 11, did you guys see at the end that they're going to be doing a new show What is that show called? Um, oh my God. Ultimatums or something? What is it? Ultimatums? What is the name of that show, you guys? Somebody drop it down in the comment section if you can remember. There's a new show that the creators of Love is Blind is doing, and I think it comes out the first week of April. I'm trying to think, is it ultimatums? Are you saying yes to the word ultimatums, Maggie? I think it's called ultimatums. What do you guys think about that? Are you guys going to try to check that out? Let me know if you want me. Oh, the ultimatum. Okay. Let me know if you want me to do reviews on that. Let me know because it's a lot of stuff coming up this month. Temptation Island season 4 comes out next week. There's a new season because Ready to Love season 5, 6, whatever you want to look at it, is coming to an end, and then Ready to Love is starting back up at the end of the month in Miami. We still have Married at First Sight Australia going on, Married at First Sight US going on. Bachelor, I don't do because a lot of my demographics on this channel in regards to my audience, they're not really feeling The Bachelor unless there's big news about somebody after the season. But I don't do The Bachelor and Bachelorette anymore. And I do Love Island. Love Island should be coming back for the US in the summer, and it will be airing on Peacock this year instead of CBS. So stay tuned for all of that. I love, yeah. Did you guys like Temptation Island last season? Oh my gosh. Kendall was the villain last season. Actually, Kendall is doing pretty well. He has a new girlfriend, Erica. She has a new boyfriend. So they've moved on. They're doing their businesses and everything. Kendall used to get a lot of hate, but look like it's slowing down. Because I follow, I try to keep up with all of the cast members from all of the different shows so I can keep you guys up to date. No, not Peacock. Why not? Because I don't know. Maybe they didn't have. Maybe there's some contract issues or something. Somebody was saying that with Peacock, it's probably the show would be a lot better because they can do a lot more. If you put it on a mainstream network like CBS or ABC or something like that, you're kind of limited on what you could say or what you could show or what you could do. And I think that's why Married at First Sight Australia didn't air in the US because a lot of stuff that's going on season 9 that we're in the middle of right now, I don't think they could show on the US Lifetime network. So why is everything going to Peacock? I know, right? Yeah, DI4J, we gonna talk about that this weekend when we do our live on the recap for Australia. Australia was crazy. If you guys, well, I did a recap on episode 23 earlier today. So if you haven't checked that out, go and check that out. If you haven't seen the episode itself, that's also on my channel as well. So you can also check that out too. Okay. So yeah, I try to keep you guys up to date, letting you guys know what's going on. So Peacock is like Netflix now. Jared and Ayana was they on Bravo bartending, Priscilla. What are you talking about? So Peacock is like Netflix now. Nothing is free anymore. I know, right? I was saying the same thing. Why the heck do we have to pay for all these little extra channels? Because I don't know if you guys watch this show called Sisters, right? So apparently that's on BET. Um, but they're gonna do a spinoff with those who knows the show called Sisters. They're gonna do a spinoff with Zach and Fatima. Do you know they're gonna put that on BET Plus? So I gotta pay an extra $5 to see that. Really? And there's another show. I had to subscribe to Paramount Plus to see the other show that they just aired called The Game that came out. I'm like, why am I paying for cable if now I got to buy all these plus networks? It's ridiculous. I like season two. After your live, I'm anxious to watch the new episode of Married at First Sight Australia. Yeah, I actually did the recaps for Love Island Australia back in November with Mitch and Tina and Chris and Zoe, and all of them is broken up. Yeah, Mitch and Tina just broke up probably about 3 weeks ago. And Chris and Zoe are, of course, broke up, but now Chris is with Lexi. So, yeah, they're dating now. Chris and Lexi are dating. I did not expect that one. Nine now does Married at First Sight Australia. It does. However, in the US, we don't have that channel. So you either have to catch it on YouTube, or if you have a private VPN, you can, I don't, whoever know how to work with a private VPN, you can get it to network that way. But yeah, most people are catching it on YouTube. I'm America, but I think AU and UK versions. Yeah, actually, I'm not feeling US version. I don't think they do enough. The experts on the AU version is more involved than the experts on the US version, and they hold people more accountable. I like the fact that the experts meet up with the couples every week. Whereas Married at First Sight US, we get one expert one week, and then 3 weeks later, we'll get another expert, and then toward the end of the season, another expert. I like to see them check in the way Australia checks in with each all of the couples each week. I honestly think that if the experts were more involved on the US version, all that messiness with Chris and Alyssa wouldn't have happened. Or they could have got it under control faster. But production wanted that drama, so, and remember, Alyssa is a nice person. Olivia is a nice person. Uh Jess is a nice person. I have not. I tried to watch oh, wait a minute, I got other messages. Okay, so Heidi, yes, Mitch and Tina broke up about 3 weeks ago. I also did a video of that on this channel where I talked about announced the breakup because they had posted it on their Instagrams. Yes, they are officially done. Jaleisha girl, have anyone watched Love is Brian Brazil? I tried. I tried. I think I watched the first episode and it was hard for me to keep up because of, I know they got people doing the voiceovers in English, but I don't know. I just couldn't. I couldn't connect with it. Plus, the other thing is that I recap so many of the shows. Some of them come on Monday. Married at First Sight Australia comes on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Married at First Sight US come on Wednesday. Ready to Love come on Friday. So I have to balance out my schedule. So the stuff that I recap takes priority, and then if I kind of catch some of the shows that I don't recap, then. And then I got to add Temptation Island to the mix too. And I think that's on Tuesdays here. Not only that, Ayana went into the lounge to be an assistant to Mallory and said to Mallory, if you need private time, I'll be there for you. If you need me, that says a lot. Yeah, she was really selfless in that whole process. I mean, she's a really good person, and I don't want to make her sound like Alyssa because that's a different good person. But um, Ayana is such a sweet girl, and I think Jared knows what he has in a wife, and appreciates her. And of course, she knows what she has in a husband because she definitely loves her some Jared. So I am actually happy for those two, but yeah, you guys, I thought pretty much overall it was a good season. I would give the season myself probably a B plus. However, I would give the reunion a C minus. I don't think they were able to, the host didn't dive deep into certain circumstances like the whole, which Shake tried to bring out, which was that whole thing about Sal and the ex-girlfriend, and Sal didn't want to talk about it and all that. I mean, he was definitely trying to get stuff out in the open in the floor, but people weren't trying to listen to him. And you know, he said that Shake had posted on his IG the day before the reunion came out that he knew that he was getting the villain edit, as he stated. So, but he said, I'm going to speak my truth. So be prepared for it. And I guess what we saw was his truth. So, and a lot of people didn't like it, but he did get some support. So, I got to check it out. I might have to, when I have some free time, Gisela girl, I might have to check out Love is Blind Brazil. You said it was really good. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. That's fair. All right, you guys. So let me know. You can always send me a DM in my if you're on Instagram, follow me on Instagram at Romance Review TV. If in fact you want to support the channel, my cash tag is there. And there's also skincare information there if you're interested. But other than that, it was a good season. I'll give it a fair okay, but the reunions to me was just not where I'd expect it to be. So other than that, look out for tomorrow's episode. I'm in the US, so in my case tomorrow, because I know it's probably in Australia. It's already Wednesday. So that episode 24 is coming out. I'm looking forward to it to see what's going on with Olivia, Dominica, and of course Daniel and Carolina, because that's a whole mess right there. So we're going to talk about that this weekend. But it was a great chat, guys. Thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate it. I didn't know what to expect because I usually do Married at First Sight, on the live. So it was nice to have all of you guys here on the chat for the Love is Blind live stream. So I really appreciate you. So without further ado, I'm going to give you your time back. Enjoy your evening, and we will see you in the next live or the next video. Talk to you guys later. Bye.